There are over 40,000 McDonald's locations in the world. McDonald's owns the land underneath roughly half of them, not the restaurants, the ground itself. And that one fact changes everything you think you know about the most famous fast food company on earth. You have probably eaten at McDonald's. You have definitely seen the Golden Arches. But here is something almost nobody knows, and McDonald's has very little interest in telling you. The company that sells you a Big Mac is not, in any meaningful sense, a food company. It is one of the largest real estate empires on the planet, and the burgers are the smallest part of the business. Here is the question this video is going to answer. How does a hamburger company that doesn't cook its own food, doesn't employ most of its own workers, and doesn't even keep most of its own profits, somehow become one of the most valuable corporations in human history? The answer begins with a decision made in 1956 that had almost nothing to do with food. Most people think McDonald's was built by Ray Kroc, the traveling milkshake machine salesman who discovered two brothers running a shockingly efficient burger stand in San Bernardino, California. And Kroc did build the franchise. He did spread the Golden Arches across America, but the man who actually invented the business model, the engine underneath everything, was a man named Harry Sonborn. Sonborn was McDonald's first chief executive, and in 1956, he walked into a meeting with a straightforward observation that changed the entire direction of the company. He said, and this is a real quote, "We are not technically in the food business. We are in the real estate business. The only reason we sell 15-cent hamburgers is because they are the greatest producer of revenue from which our tenants can pay us our rent." Read that again. The burgers exist to pay the rent, not the other way around. Here is how the model works. When someone wants to open a McDonald's franchise, they don't just sign a contract and start flipping patties. They pay McDonald's an initial franchise fee of around $45,000. They invest anywhere from $1 to $2.5 million in fitting out the restaurant. They pay a 4% royalty on every dollar they ever make. But here is the part that makes this a real estate story. McDonald's doesn't just collect royalties. In most cases, McDonald's has already bought or leased the land the restaurant sits on, and then subleases that same land back to the franchisee at a markup. The franchisee pays McDonald's rent every month. For as long as the restaurant exists, McDonald's is not your business partner. It is your landlord. And here is why that matters. Food businesses are brutal. Thin margins, high waste, spoilage, staff turnover, changing tastes. Real estate is the opposite. Land doesn't spoil. Rent arrives every month regardless of whether the Big Mac is selling. The income is predictable, compounding, and almost entirely passive. In 2022, McDonald's generated around $13 billion in revenue. More than half of that, roughly $7 billion, came directly from franchisee rents and royalties, not from selling food, from owning the ground the food is sold on. This is why McDonald's can afford to charge almost nothing for the burger itself. The margin on a McDonald's hamburger is thin. The margin on real estate is not. One funds the other. The burger is the bait that fills the restaurant. The restaurant fills the cash register. The cash register pays the rent. And the rent is what McDonald's is actually here for. Now, here is the pattern that makes this bigger than one company. McDonald's invented something economists call the franchise real estate model, but it didn't stay at McDonald's. Subway uses a version of it. So does 7-Eleven. So does Marriott, which owns almost none of the hotel buildings carrying its name, but licenses its brand to property owners and collects a fee on every room sold. The model has one core insight. The real money is never in the product. The real money is in controlling the infrastructure the product depends on. Ray Kroc said it himself, late in his life. "I'm not in the hamburger business. My business is real estate." He was selling you a burger. He was building a property empire, and for 70 years, almost nobody noticed. The next time you pull up to a drive-thru, look at the ground underneath it. Somebody owns that. And there is a very good chance that somebody is getting richer off your lunch than the person who made it.